Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, we are breaking down communication skills, and in this episode, we are entering the world of social dynamics and breaking down the charisma framework known as S.P.A.C.E. S.P.A.C.E was a charisma framework that was created by Karl Albrecht, and in this framework, he talks about the different components which are extremely important for social intelligence. And the beauty about social skills is that we can always be improving. Why? It's because we're always getting more and more and more social experience. As we get more social experience, it becomes extremely important that we start understanding different mental models that are out there in regards to social skills. Because with these experience, we have a whole lot of data, and with added mental models that are relevant for us in terms of our life, we're able to evaluate these data in completely different lens, which leads to more insights, and these new insights lead to a behavioral change that will help us in future social interactions. In this episode, we are going to be breaking down each of the tiers of S.P.A.C.E, understanding why each letter is so important, and basically doing our best to improve our mental models. So let's get started off with S, Situational Awareness. On a day-by-day basis, the average human is taking in so much data from the external world. And the truth of the matter is that our nervous system, our mind, it can just be so aware of that data. There's a lot of data that we are able to bring awareness to, and there's a lot of stuff that just goes on ignored. This understanding is extremely important in regards to social skills, because in the social skills world, we're taking in a whole lot of data in our external world. And it becomes important that with more experience that we get, the more aware that we are becoming. You want to know what a novice social skills mistake is? When you're only focusing on one thing. That's not to say that you shouldn't be present, but you should be present as well as aware of your environment. Sort of like when you're driving. You're not just focusing on the road and that's it. No, you're aware of the road, but you're also aware of your peripherals. The wider that your social peripherals get, the higher that your situational awareness gets. Just to give you an example of this, imagine that you are speaking to someone in a networking event and you see that there's another person that's edging a little bit closer and closer and closer to you. The person with the low situational awareness will just be talking to this person and that's it. While the person with the high situational awareness will able to pick up the social context, and they'll see, okay, this person is keep getting closer and closer. This person is looking around. This person may not know anyone else. Oh, so this person is trying to enter our interaction. How about I make it easy for them by introducing myself and gently bringing them into our interaction? The second person showcased a high level of situational awareness. A lot of processing went on, but it went on quick. And this is what happens when your awareness is enhancing more and more and more. You create more opportunities for yourself to become a charismatic force. That's S for situational awareness. P stands for presence. For presence, let's just say that you could do a lot of things wrong, but if you're present, for the most part, you'll be seen as charismatic. While on the flip side, you could do a lot of things right, but if you're not present, you're going to be seen as a bum. Because presence is another phrase for paying attention. Think about that phrase, paying attention. Attention is a primal currency, and paying is an act that you are doing. You're not present if you're thinking about the next thing that you're going to say, if you're worried about your problems, if you're worried about just looking ugly. Although these are forms of social anxiety, what melts this anxiety is when you are able to be right here, right now. Because you could fool people for so long. You could aimlessly shake your head like this, pretending to listen for so long. But eventually, there's going to come a time where you ask a question that does not fit the context of the conversation, giving you away that you are not present. At times, you're going to contribute a point that did not fit the context of the conversation, giving you away. So do your best to engage as many of your senses as you possibly can to a point where you are forced to be right here, right now. That's P for presence. A is for authenticity. How real are you? And by real, let's just clarify what that means. That's not to say that you are the same exact person in terms of delivery that you are with all other groups of people. There's very few people that act the same way with one person as they act with everyone else out there. Sure, this is a great thing to be able to do, but a lot of charismatic people, what they're able to do is they're able to keep their authentic message, but they're able to wrap it in different deliveries. So if they are speaking to someone that is extremely talkative, then this charismatic person is able to adopt the role of a listener. On the flip side, if they are speaking to someone who's shy, they're able to get their exact same message, their exact same personality, but deliver it in a way where they're speaking up a little bit more. So what I want you to understand in regards to authenticity is don't focus on, oh, well, I act the same way with everyone. I keep it real. Rather, focus on the message. Is what you're saying real? If that's the case, if that's congruent with how your character, your personality, your thoughts actually are, then you're authentic. Don't say, well, I'm not authentic because I act differently with different people. That's smart. That's socially intelligent. That showcases that you're able to be like water. You are dynamic. That is authenticity. C stands for clarity. Clarity is where your message is able to be understood clearly without too much problems. A great way to understand this on a deeper level is the signal to noise ratio. The signal is the meaningful message of whatever you're saying, and the noise is all the distraction. If your noise is higher than your signal, then you're not that clear. On the flip side, if your signal is much higher than your noise, then you're clear. A few examples of noise include being extremely low energy, eyes looking all over the place, a soft voice, mumbling. These are a few modes of enhancing a lot of noise, which hurts your ability to be charismatic, hurts your ability to be a force. So do your best to clear up your speech. Do your best to not use words that others have no clue what it means. You're just using these words because it makes you feel smart. Avoid the noise, lower the noise, and keep doing your best to amplify the signal. That's clarity. And the final one is E for empathy. Empathy is important because if you're doing all these other things that I'm mentioning and you have not a semblance of empathy, then all this doesn't matter. It showcases that you're not going to be socially intelligent. It means that you're focusing a little too much on you. You're focusing too much on what you think is right, what you think is wrong. And it showcases that you may be someone who judges a little too much. You may be someone who doesn't pay attention. You are probably doing all the other letters wrong if you can't empathize. Empathy allows you to understand someone else's thoughts, emotions, behavior without much personal bias from your end. This is a skill set, which means that the more that we practice empathy, the better that we get. It's one of the most powerful elements of a charismatic force because it allows this charismatic force to be able to adjust to the person that they're speaking to while, as A stated, they're authentic. So E stands for empathy. So that's the S.P.A.C.E formula: situational awareness, presence, authenticity, clarity, and empathy. You want to ask yourself a serious question right now. Which parts are you good in? Which parts can you improve on? To add more clarity to this exercise, Break down each of the 5 parts into separate boats and rank yourself 1 out of 10. See which parts you can improve on. See why you're struggling with certain parts. And this is going to give you more awareness the next time you enter a social interaction. Whether you agree with S.P.A.C.E framework or not, do your best to just understand it. Keep it into your arsenal of mental models that you can unlock to evaluate your social experiences from a brand new lens. The charismatic force is always learning, is because the charismatic force has more perspective than people who are a little too stiff. We're like water. We're adjusting, we're maintaining our power, and we are amplifying our influence. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.